Right. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Jamuna Dhira Banachari Jamuna Dhira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavindra ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Se Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadvip Dham ki jai. स्वामी तो भक्त बिंद की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, स्वामी तो भक्त बिंद की जय. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances. Nice to see you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, glory to Lord.
Yeah, welcome, Maharaj.
Thank you, sir.
Krishna.
Shri Guru Shri Gauranga.
Yes, Maharaj, I will. It's Bhagavad Gita 225. I will put on the screen so we can start, please.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Hare Hare. Give me my guitar. You want my guitar? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanamirandasya Jnanandana Salapaya Chakshuralvesandina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manopishta Sadhukandayana Bhutale Swayamrupa Kadamahi Radhi Sahajanti Vandeham Sri Guru Sejita Paratam Sri Guru Vaishnava Chak Sri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Sri Advaitam Sarvadutam Harijanam Saritam Krishna Sajeetam Shri Ram Krishna Param Sahagana Radhikasi Sakam He Krishna Karana Sindhu Navande Jagatpate Oti Sadhapikatanta Radhakanta Namaste Sapakantana Radhe Vrindavameshwari Visavana Sutadevi Kunamali Hari Priya Vanchakara Daru Jastra Udasanjayavata Patitanam Paviyo Vaishnavyo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Bhakti ki Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It is chapter 2, content to the Gita summarized. Text number 25. 25. Avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryojam uchate asmadevam viditvainam nanusochantum arhasi. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Bhakti to Swami Srila Prabhupada. They said, that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. Purport. As described previously, the magnitude of the soul is so small for our material calculation that it cannot be seen even by the most powerful microscope. Therefore, it's invisible. It is invisible. As far as the soul's existence is concerned, no one can establish its existence experimentally beyond the proof of Shruti or Vedic wisdom. To accept this truth because there is no other source of understanding the existence of the soul. Although it is a fact by perception. There are many things we have to accept solely on grounds of superior authority. No one can deny the existence of the father based on the authority of his mother. There is no source of understanding the identity of the father by the authority of the mother. Similarly, there is no source of understanding the soul except by studying the Vedas. In other words, the soul is inconceivable by human experimental knowledge. The soul is consciousness and conscious. The soul is consciousness and conscious. That also is the statement of the Vedas. And we have to accept that. Unlike the bodily changes, there is no change in the soul. Acts eternally unchangeable. The soul is atomic in comparison to the infinite supreme soul. The supreme soul is infinite, and the atomic soul is infinitesimal. Therefore, the infinitesimal soul, being unchangeable, can never become equal to the infinite soul or the supreme personality of God. This concept is repeated in the Vedas in different ways, just to confirm the stability of the conception of the soul. Repetition of something is necessary in order that we understand the matter thoroughly without error. That is the end of Srila Prabhupada's purport to text 25 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 2, entitled Content of the Gita Summarized. Okay. We humbly offer our respectful obeisances to our devotees. From wherever you are, please kindly accept our humble obeisances. And give us your blessings by your presence, so that we'll say something which is beneficial. Prepare it. Okay, so in this section of our Gita, from text 11 to 30, Krishna is telling Arjuna to fight. Why? There is no death for the soul. In 20 verses, Krishna explained this respectful business also. His grace, save us on a child.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
In 20 verses, 20, from 11 to 30, Krishna encourages, or let's say Krishna instigated Arjuna to fight. The reason being that there is not a death for the soul. The soul is eternal. Why the word instigated? Because Arjuna did not want to fight. And he has his reason. He has many reasons why he doesn't want to fight. Basically, as a devotee wouldn't like to put anyone in anxiety because of material things. Even for spirituality, he wouldn't like to put anyone in anxiety. What was said of material things, a kingdom, which is perishable. And going beyond that, for other social reasons, up to the point of even putting scriptures, entering into management of the material world, Varnashram. When the leaders are not in place, literally rogues will take over. And things will be very, very uncomfortable for you. To protect that which is the duty of every devotee. I didn't say that we shouldn't fight. Therefore, he decided not to fight. So Krishna said, no, we have to fight. Why? For the soul, there is nothing like this. The soul is eternal. So Prabhupada continued to give detail, and then the Prabhupada went directly to the soul, because this verse, Krishna is talking about the soul, or the nature of the soul. The soul is invisible. The soul is invisible to help us understand how invisible is the soul. The Krishna, the scripture gave the lesson. When the hair is cut into 100 pieces, which is difficult for anyone to do. First of all, it's difficult for anyone to do. Even our powerful scientists cannot do that. Then you take one piece of that and cut it into 100. Is it possible? So why Krishna described it? Scripture wants to make us understand that it is not, the soul we are extremely insignificant. You may ask somebody, what is your height? I want to make a dress for you. What is your height? I'm 7 feet tall. That is a lie. That is ignorant, because that is the body. That is not the size of the soul. That is the size of the body which we carry. The soul is carrying that body which is 7 feet or 8, whatever, 6.8. That is the body. The size of the soul is small. So that time you cannot see. And Papa said, even with our powerful microscope, we cannot see the soul. Very significant. That is our eternal size. That is our eternal size. The soul can expand. The soul's expansion is not in the magnitude, not in the diameter, not in diameter. It is in multiplication. It's in multiplication. It's in multiplication, not size. The size remains the same. So probably I'm going directly here to the point I guess I'm presenting here. Invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Therefore, how can one kill that which we don't see? Socrates also said the same thing. Want to kill me? Yes, want to kill you. You have to catch me first. If you want to kill, you have to catch me first, then you can kill. If you cannot catch me, how can you kill me? That's a very good perspective. To establish a position of the soul, that the soul is completely insignificant, very insignificant. As described previously, the magnitude of the soul is so small for mature calculation that it cannot be seen even by the most powerful microscope. Therefore, it is invisible. As far as the soul's existence is concerned, no one can establish its existence experimentally beyond the proof of Shruti or Vedic wisdom. Existence of the soul. It's eternal. That is explained before this text, in text 20, Krishna already explained that. Back on 20, Krishna is speaking about the existence of the soul. Najayati mriyati va kadachi nayam bhukta babidha vana ujaha. Aja nitya saswatu yam purano nahanyate hanyamane sarire. Nahanyate hanyamane sarire. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. So, say, she has given birth to a child. That is the body, the soul. We are referring to the body, not the soul. Oh, he quit the body. He just quitted the body. That is the body, not the soul. The soul is always there. How do we understand that the soul is always there? First of all, nobody wants to die. Nobody. Anyone? Huh? No, nobody. We want to live eternally. That is the symptom. That is the proof that the soul is eternal. That is why we don't want to die. They said there is no smoke without fire, right? There is no smoke without fire. If there is a smoke, there must be fire on them. So, if you say, I need a golden mountain, there must be a mountain. If you don't have a golden mountain, there must be a mountain before you can talk of gold or silver or bronze or whatever. There's something to give idea. I need a golden egg. There must be egg before you talk of the gold. Whatever it is, utopia. It's our imagination, something that doesn't exist. We want to make it, want to bring it into existence, which is not possible. That is a science of B.Gita chapter 2. Krishna is explaining. Even if you think that the soul dies, even if you think that the soul dies, even if you think that the soul dies, but can you stop it from dying? Therefore, what is the question of lamenting? And if soul does not die, then why are you lamenting? For what? What is the question of lamenting for that which does not worth lamenting for? What is the question? It is useless. It doesn't make sense lamenting for something that does not worth lamenting. It's ignorance. So we can understand that the soul is there from our mundane considerations. Because nobody wants to die. It means that the soul is eternal. That's why we always think of eternality. And we are making an elaborate arrangement to remain like that, eternal. Then part refer to the scripture. Going beyond the mundane is the scripture. You understand something which is beyond us. Or if you want to get something which is beyond us. For example, I'm poor. If I want to be rich, what would I do? Yeah, can go and work. Or what again? If I need money, I don't have money. If I need money, what should I do? It's beyond me, but I want to get some money. I can work or something else. What else? What should I do? Go and borrow from a person who has money. You know, I'm beg, but please, I need money. Suppose you go to the person who doesn't have money. You don't get anything. Your pressure will increase because you're going to return with empty hand. But if it is a person who has it, then you get. Similarly, if we want to know something we don't know, we have to go to the person who knows. So we go to school so we can learn something that we don't know because we want to know something. So we go to school to learn so we can understand something. It's beyond us. The present situation does not have a school to teach us about the science of God. The only school that is teaching the science of God is B.Gita. B.Gita is teaching the science of the soul. The most important thing, the real education is not available. Ignorance is available. Real knowledge is not there. And knowledge is coming from the Gita. It is not there. But the Supreme Personality God is always very kind. He's always very kind to the living entities. Always make provision. Always make arrangements to help us get knowledge. Therefore, he gave Bhakti. He spoke about Bhakti. He came personally, organized all the situations suitable for him to present Bhagavad Gita in a very dramatic way. Krishna created a situation, practical situation, so he can give us Bhagavad Gita. And he did. He gave us the Gita. Another example Prabhupada gave is that there are many things we have to accept solely on grounds of superior authority. No one can deny the existence of a father based upon the authority of his mother. There is no source of understanding the identity of the father is set by the authority of the mother. Similarly, there is no source of understanding the soul except by studying the Vedas. How to study the Vedas to understand the soul. Everything is explained clearly in the Veda. And for us to study the Vedas, we cannot just take the book and read and become a Vedantist. In the real sense of it, a Vedantist, one who knows Krishna, not just one who is a speculator. One who studies the Vedas to understand the soul, understand the source of the soul, the supreme person God there. We have to study the Vedas under a bona fide authority. Bona fide authority means what? One who is coming from the succession, one who is not a speculator, one who is speaking according to the Acharya statement, one who is repeating what Acharyas have said. It's an authority. Perhaps like Prabhupada and his followers. And Prabhupada himself said, If there is any credit for me, is that I did not change the word of my spiritual master. I did not dilute what my spiritual master gave to me. I didn't change anything. I did not manufacture anything. I didn't create anything. I simply presented what my spiritual master gave to me. That's authority. Our strength in Krishna consciousness is parampara. That's our strength. Parampara. That anyone is potent and who is empowered to represent the movement is parampara. Without parampara, we cannot do anything else. Something on it. We can't do anything. Throughout the Vedas, you see, from Chitta Chitamrita to Bhagavad to Prabhupada, you see, everything, all our acharyas is systematically represent the previous acharyas, and they give everything according to as they have had it. You see what with Swami. I had the Bhagavad. I spoke the Bhagavad. I should have Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami said, Parishit Maharaj, sit down, let me recite the Srimad Bhagavatam to you as I have had it. As I have had it and understood in the process. As I have had it and understood, I'm going to repeat the same thing to you, not changing, not adding, not diluting. That does not mean that there is no realization. It doesn't mean that there's no realization. Even to repeat what we have is realization. To repeat exactly what we have had. That is realization. It is realization. And realization does not mean that once we speak out of context. We have to represent the authority. Yes. In other words, the soul is inconceivable by human experimental knowledge. The soul is conscious, and the soul is consciousness and conscious. That also is a statement to the Vedas. And we have to accept that, unlike the bodily changes, there is no change in the soul as eternally unchangeable. The soul remains atomic in comparison to the infinite supreme soul. As eternally unchangeable, the soul remains atomic in comparison to the infinite supreme soul. The supreme soul is infinite, and atomic soul is infinitesimal. Therefore, the infinitesimal soul, being unchangeable, can never become equal to the infinite soul or the supreme percentage of Godhead. That is the problem, that is the disease of the Mayavad philosophers. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was requested by Sankaracharya and his followers to explain why he is not studying the Dawn. Every sannyasi should sit down and study the Dawn and speak whatever you want to speak, not referring to the Vedas. Their own opinion. Why? Because the idea is to defeat people. The idea is to defeat, not to give something which is beneficial, to defeat you, to bring you down, or at best to destroy you. That is not the system of Vaishnavas. The Vaishnava system is a cordial, mutual discussion. A discussion could benefit everyone equally. Discussion is uplifting, it benefits the soul. But the Mayavadis don't have this fortune. They don't have this qualification. The idea is, let us debate, I'll win you and bring you down. and put into shame. My students will laugh at you and shame you. You are forced to sign paper for me. So I'm the greatest. But what is the benefit for me who defeated or you who defeated me? And you who defeated. What's the benefit for what? Nobody benefit. That is destructive system established by this destructive system. It's not authorized. Mahaprabhu started to explain, and then he continued. The potency of the Lord Vishnu is summarized in three categories, namely the spiritual potency, the living entities, and ignorance. Namely, the spiritual potency, Antaranga Shakti is Antaranga Shakti, the spiritual potency. The living entities, which is, how do you call it? Which Shakti is that? Living entity, which Shakti is that? We have three energies, principally. Antaranga Shakti, which one is that? How do you call it? Tatastha Shakti, Tataksha Shakti, and the ignorance, Bahiranga Shakti, external, the outside. So these are the potency is the supreme personality. The spiritual potency is full of knowledge. The living entities, although belonging to the spiritual potency, are subject to bewilderment. And the third energy, which is full of ignorance, is always visible in fruitive activities. The Mayavada philosophy is so degraded that it has taken the insignificant living entities to be the Lord. This is a problem. The Prophet said here, the soul is the supreme soul is infinite, and the atomic soul is infinitesimal. The time Mahaprabhu said insignificant living entity. What is the size of our soul? We already discussed that. What is the size? Insignificant living entities to be the Lord, the supreme Lord, thus covering the glory and supremacy of the absolute truth with monism. This is a disease of the monist. Is a disease. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. In his Vedanta Sutra, Srila Vyasadeva has described that everything is but a transformation of the energy of the Lord. Sankaracharya, however, has misled the world by commenting that Vyasadeva was mistaken. Thus, he has raised great opposition to theism throughout the entire world. He has destroyed the world by this contaminated philosophy. This is contaminated. It's contaminated philosophy. Yes. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur comment in this connection that in all Vedic scripture, the Jiva Tattva, the truth of the living entities, is mentioned to be one of the energies of the Lord, not the supreme Lord, the energies of the Lord. One does not accept the living entity to be a minute infinitesimal spark of the supreme, but equate the Jiva Tattva with the supreme Brahman or supreme personality of Godhead. It must be understood that his entire philosophy is based on a misunderstanding. misunderstanding. The whole philosophy, the whole teaching, the whole system of Mayavadi is what? It's a misunderstanding. Therefore, they are spreading ignorance. Unfortunately, Srila Sankaracharya focus claim the Jiva Tattva or living entities to be equal to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his entire philosophy is based on misunderstanding. And it is misguided, and it misguides people to become atheists, whose mission in life is unfulfilled. That is the original reason, the brain behind Mayavadi philosophy is to destroy. It's for destruction, to destroy the soul. Sri Mahaprabhu clearly displayed. Anyone who hears this philosophy is doomed, because that was the original intent. For Krishna, Lord Vishnu, he told Lord Shiva, I want you to do service. Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, yes, a devotee, whatever is a chance to serve, a devotee is jubilant. Like Swami. And he said, it's book. Krishna Nika Kavudi. He said, when the chance for service of the Lord comes, the devotees are jubilant. They are happy. They're ready to execute the service. So Lord Shiva was very happy. He said, my Lord, please give me any service. So Lord Vishnu said, no, I want you to construct a very dark philosophy, dangerous philosophy. Lord Shiva said, me? Say yes. I want you to do this. Anyone who hears this, anyone, create a scripture, make a scripture. Tell the whole world that I have nobody. I'm zero. As soon as somebody hear me, the person will never be Krishna conscious. But Shiva said, are you tempting me? Are you tempting me? Is it a service? But Vishnu said, yes. He said, I'm not tempting you. I came to you because I know you can do this service. So do it for me. But Shiva said, I'm sorry, I cannot do that. This is the first time. This is the first time. But Shiva is saying no to the Krishna. I cannot do this. Vishnu says, but because it's the Supreme Lord, but Shiva. So what is behind this? Lord Vishnu said, see, generally demons doesn't worship me. They worship you. But as some demons are worshiping me, not to come to my abode, not to be my devotee. They want to get power so they can destroy the world. And now I am present in the heart because they are chanting like. I wanted to devise this process so that when they hear this philosophy, I will disappear from their heart. That's the best way I can do it. But Shiva saw it is true, it's a service. Then he said, but how will I protect myself? Shiva, the vision said, no, I'll help you. So he gave him a snake. The snake on Shiva's shoulder. That is Sankasha, not ordinary snake. Sankasha, Lord Vishnu, in there to protect Lord Shiva from his service, so that he can do any service without being affected by it. That is Lord Shiva. He can do any service without being affected by it. So it was agreed. Then Lord Shiva incarnated as Sankaracharya. That is Lord Shiva, Sankaracharya. And he brought this dangerous dark philosophy. And Sankaracharya is presenting that, and he has so many followers. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has this as a responsibility to also destroy the darkness for the benefit of all the devotees. So the soul cannot be equal with the Supreme Personality. A supreme soul is infinite. An atomic soul is infinitesimal. Therefore, the infinitesimal soul, being unchangeable, can never become equal to the infinite soul, or the supreme personality. This concept is repeated in the Vedas in different ways, just to confirm the stability of the conception of the soul. Repetition of something in order that we understand the matter thoroughly without error. Hare Krishna. I don't know if there's some comment. Question.
Alisha Maharaj, thank you for your nice class. I have a question based on the last word you said now on the paper. Repetition of something is good, so we can understand it thoroughly without error. So we have this repetition of the Maha Mantra every day. And it's also said that when we chant purely the holy name, one attains perfection. So we are repeating the Maha Mantra every day. It seems we are still repeating it in error, that we are not yet attained perfection. So we have not understood it thoroughly as it is said in this paper. Despite the fact that we keep repeating every day.
So we should continue to repeat until we understand it thoroughly. Yes. We should keep running. We have not gotten to our destination, so we should not stop running. Until we get to a destination, then we can stop. But the destination is so sweet that we will not stop. It is then we study in MS. So we should continue to repeat it until it becomes condensed, that we become part of it, that we cannot give it up again. Perfection. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. Our next question.
Everything very sweet. Everything. The name is sweet. The Jiva is sweet. The Krishna is sweet. The abode of Krishna is sweet. Everything is sweet. Everything becomes condensedly sweet. I would not like to give it up again. That is the perfection. So let's keep running. Let's keep repeating it until we really get it.
Thank you, Maharaj. Next question is from Sahadev Prabhu.
All right, Sahadev.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you so much. It's always good to see you and hear from you. Hare Krishna.
Happy to see you also.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, I have a question about the nature of the soul. I once asked this question, but I wasn't given a satisfactory answer. So the question is, like you just explained from the scriptures, that the nature of the soul is so minute that not even the most powerful microscope can even see it to examine it. And so when the soul leaves a particular body, it has to take on another body. For example, I do not know where I was before I was born to my mother to have this body I have sitting here. But wherever I was, I had to be impregnated in a mother's womb, and then I had to be born like this. Oftentimes when we lose somebody, especially in the West, anytime somebody dies, like Kavichandra Maharaj was saying yesterday in the class, that it says, oh, he went to heaven, he went to heaven. So when somebody leaves this body, when a soul leaves this body and goes to heaven, does the soul enter into the womb of an angel to be born, or the soul enters into heaven as a fully matured subtle body in an angelic form. And if that is the case, then why do the angels marry? If the angels marry and they do not give birth, then what is the essence of their marriage? Are they not just enjoying sex? Which we understand spiritually that sex is not just for sense gratification, it's for procreation. That is my question. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, thank you for your question. When you say angels, I understand that you're talking about heavenly denizens, not by contact.
No,
right?
not by contact. No.
Okay, so if it is the angels and the heavenly planet, they are not pure souls. The entities on the heavenly planet, even under Brahmaloka, are not pure souls. Oh, they are different. They are different. They are different. They are different in many ways, but they still have a material body. And having material body means that the activities we do as human beings is still there. Death, old age, and disease is still there. They are not in the same capacity. They're not in the same capacity. For example, the Brahma's body is thousands and thousands of times superior to their own body. But still it is material body because it's still made of material element. So the activity will be in a finer, like in goodness, but it is not pure. So the sex life there. That is the process of the procreation. And with the mystic power, they can also produce children without a seminal discharge. They have mystic power. Vishwamitra Muni can do that. Brahma himself, he did that. He created children not from having life, but from his mental ability. He could create the children, the Kumaras, Narada, Rudras. He manifested them without consulting a woman. So they have that ability. So when a soul is going, according to B.Gita chapter 8, when a soul is going to the heavenly planet, a soul is going there, the soul will go according to the activities the soul has performed in this world. In goodness, it has to go there. Through a perfect calculation of watching when the soul, when the sun is on the right position, the right time. The time has to be perfectly calculated in the daytime so that they go to the spiritual world. If it is in the night, then they have to go to hell. So those who are going to heavenly planet, they calculate their time by the mystic yogic power. Yogic power. They can go there. But the living entities who are already there, they will do procreation by mating. But the yogis who are going there, we don't have to go through the same way. We have to go there through the system of authority. Some people can travel through the waterways like the Kumaras. They travel through the waterways. The yogis, they will travel through the waterways. You enter the lagoon here, you appear in the Ganga in India, somewhere. They can do that. So you become part of that citizen. So it doesn't need a particular mother to take birth there. So it is based on our capacity, the level of our perfection. The perfection in this term, it doesn't mean the total perfection of going back and back to the Godhead. Perfection or liberation of different levels. In Bhagavad Krishna explained, among thousands of people who are perfect, I hardly get one who knows me. So go to heaven, there's a level of perfection there. You know, the complete perfection, but there's perfection there. The perfection there is that we are not so gross, not so dense in ignorance or in passion like on the earthly planet. The heavenly planet is a different thing. And if you go to Mahaloka, you go to Janaloka, you go to Tapaloka, then you go to Satyaloka, the highest and material world, they are on different level like this. So it's a different situation. In the subtle situation, they're going to get there. It's not be the same system. And in Vaikuntha completely, there's nothing like that. Because why do we look for sex and material world? Because we are empty, like Solomon said, filling the void. There's something missing, so we are looking for something to fill in there. In a special world, there is nothing missing, which we are going to look for something to facilitate our pleasure and enjoyment. Everything is already there. Bhagavatam tells us, Archie and Prithu Maharaj, they went Vaikuntha. And other personalities who are eternal and they have the eternal consort in the heavenly planet, they don't have to unite to get children. And that's one way to understand there is no sex in spiritual world. Another higher meaning to understand there is no sex in spiritual world is that what we consider sex here is material. That is material, sinful. Because it is activity of the body. In the spiritual world, our activities are on the soul platform. So you cannot say it is the sex life. Even though it's the same thing, you cannot say it is sex life. And Krishna explained that I came to the material world to do something which looks exactly like what we do here, but it is not on the same level. It is not the same. A lossy person, lossy woman in material world is low. A lossy man is vile. My activity with the Gopit is not, they are not low and I'm not vile. They are all in the Transcendental Supreme platform. Very different. That is the difference. Does it make sense?
Thank you so much, Mara. Yes, very, very. I'm so grateful I was able to ask this question to you. I really appreciate your answer. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Any other question? No hand is up. Anyone has a question, kindly unmute and ask, please.
Well, Krishna Prabhu, can I ask a question?
Yes, please go on.
Okay. Maharaj, my question is, it's very interesting the class you gave today because for whatever reason, last night, I got myself into an internet fight. There was one Redwick devotee who was saying all sort of nonsensical things. And we were arguing about Srila Prabhupada did not ask anybody to be guru and things like that. And so, but the bottom line is this, that oftentimes we look for people who know the scriptures, who know the philosophy. And we consider such people to be very elevated. But like the lecture you gave today, there is a difference between knowing and understanding. Some people know, but they don't understand. So some people know the scriptures, they can quote verbatim offhand, but they do not understand the import. And in today's ISKCON, there are many courses that one has to take in order for such a devotee to become somebody like a sannyas. Now, I am thinking that even though it is necessary that somebody knows the scriptures and be able to quote them, but to me, the most important is somebody who understands the import. Like we read from the scriptures, there was an uneducated, illiterate Mataji who was ordered by her spiritual master to read the scriptures. She didn't know, and she will because the spiritual master ordered her to be reading, she will be reading the Gita upside down. And when the spiritual master asked her, I don't know if it's the spiritual master or Lord Chaitanya, but the bottom line was that the Guru told her, you understand the import because you've seen Krishna becoming the charioteer of his devotee. So my question is that helpful that we look for people who know the scriptures, but probably haven't understood, in the sense that you do not see them living the scripture, but simply because they can quote the scripture, we give them sannyas? That's my question, Maharaj.
So the Prabhupada did not come to close down the Parampara system.
No.
The Prabhupada came to authenticate Parampara and make it possible. And he did that throughout his life, in his lectures and his books and everything. He did that. And I have not seen any Acharya whose intention is to close down the system. In the preface, in the Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion here, the preface, Prabhupada mentioned the reason why he gave Bhagavad Gita. They were reading many Bhagavad Gita before he came. Why did he have to make this Gita? And for giving this Gita, he has something in mind. He said the mood and the mission of the program. His mission. What is his mission? What is his mood? What is his interest in giving Gita? He explained it in the preface. If one person can become a pure devotee, I will consider my attempt a success. Just one person. So is that a closure of Parampara to make pure devotee? A pure devotee, as we started from the beginning, he will represent his spiritual master perfectly. So if Prabhupada had not made anyone a pure devotee before he left here, he didn't make anyone a pure devotee. Means he's a pure devotee himself. So I don't have time to waste with the people who are really the West. And people who feel that Prabhupada did not ask anyone to. There are so many statements, there are so many quotes Prabhupada establishing in the lecture. I am my spiritual master for this Prabhupada. My spiritual master is number 10. I Prabhupada number 11. Are you my devotees, my disciples, and number 12? What is that? Is it end of Parampara or is it continuation? So if someone is speaking nonsense out of envy, what I've seen, we should be able to understand people, what they are speaking. Sometimes people speak out of envy, but they present it as if they have their interest. If you have my interest, we say something which is beneficial for me, something which is encouraging, not something which is destructive. I asked one devotee, every intelligent person do something with interest. You have some interest in something before you do something. Every intelligent person, even a fool, there are some reason why you do certain things. So when you tell me this thing, what is your interest? What do you tend to achieve? Do you want to increase my faith? Do you want to destroy my faith? In what you're telling me, what is your interest in telling me this? Yes, I agree with you. What happened has happened. I agree with you. But what is your interest telling me this? What do you want me to get from this? You want to destroy my faith? Or you want to increase my faith? I have nothing to say. I say, my friend, you're food. I don't want to deal like this. So don't discuss this issue with me again for this lifetime. Maybe next time we can continue. But this lifetime, never bring this issue to me. So we have many people who are very, very destructive. they have wasted their life. They're not making advancement in Krishna consciousness, and they are also trying to get people like themselves, whom they will deceive not to take to Krishna. I remember in the Bible, there's something in the Bible. Some people are sitting by the gate of heaven. They sit by the gate. They will not enter into the heaven, but they are by the gate of the heaven. Why are they sitting there? To discourage anyone who is going there. My friend, you want to go that place? Don't waste your time to go there. You want to get this. If you listen to the person, you are a fool because it's you who is not going to get there. That person is not going to enter. So you don't listen to the person who is a failure. We should look at people who are successful. Follow the example. Then we will be successful. There's so many people who are already frustrated in their life, and they're looking for where they can distribute their frustration. Don't waste their time with them. Mm-hmm. There's so much in our Bhagavatam, so much in Bhakti, so much to enjoy. This is festival here to celebrate. So leave them to remain dry because that's what they want. If they want help, we can help them, but they don't want help. So leave them, let them remain dry. Yeah. And also we have been explaining this. Sometimes we see someone who is a cook, professionally a cook. That's a profession. When such a person becomes a devotee, when he or she cooks, we will not appreciate it. Everybody will like it. So we consider the person is a pure devotee. Mm-hmm. Because the person is cooking as a pure devotee. This is what we think. This is our mistake. If he doesn't cook in the temple, we're not going to cook outside. So if he's cooking outside, go to give me a certificate now, you can go back to God because you're cooking very nicely. It is not everything we do in Krishna consciousness, Krishna devotion service. Not everything. It is not everything we do in Krishna consciousness that it is Krishna conscious activities. It is not. It is not everything. And it is not everything that we do in Krishna consciousness which is Krishna conscious. It is not. Our activities become Krishna conscious when these things are intentionally, consciously offered to Krishna in devotion. Then those things become devotional activities. And then they are purifying. Other than that, we are simply manifesting our material qualities, material abilities which we have. And we can do that anywhere, either in the movement or somewhere else, because that is our profession. We perfected our life with such traits, such skills. We can do that everywhere. So is a musician. If you take to Krishna, you're going to have a powerful Kirtan. So that person becomes a pure devotee because they have a powerful Kirtan. After the Kirtan, you should check what the person is doing. Right? Yes, and before the Kirtan, check what the person was doing. After the Kirtan, you should check what the person is doing. If it doesn't correspond, B.Gita said is Mithya. Pretend. And we will accept them. This is our own foolishness. But this don't also what to talk about. He really told you that if you mistake a condition to a secure devotee, that is your problem. That's your problem. So we should know who is who. Look at the result, the end result of every activities. What is the end result of everything that we do? What is the end result? Is it making someone Krishna conscious? Or it is taking the person away from Krishna consciousness? What we're doing, is it increasing our faith in Krishna or it is destroying our faith in Krishna? The end result is most important in everything that we do. End result. Not just what we do, but we look at the end. What is the result? You can judge that. Then we can judge perfectly without mistake. If you judge activities alone, we make mistake. But if you look at the end result, we don't make mistake because the result takes exactly what was the person doing. All right.
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for the.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for the elaborate answer to that question. If anybody still have any question, they can raise their hand.
I have limited time. I have my safari program, safari parikama is going on. Today we are going to Bangladesh, so we are waiting for me.
Okay, Maharaj, thank you very much for your time. Actually, there's no any hands up now. So we'll leave you to go attend the other next program. But before you go, I will request all of the devotees to please kindly unmute themselves and let us chant a powerful Hare Krishna mantra to appreciate Maharaj for coming onto this class.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare Hare Hare.
Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Jai.
Swami Maharaj
Gaura
ki
Bhakta
jai.
Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody, for your comment. We wish to see you in the next class. So we request you all to please kindly always come on this. It's nice seeing all of you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.